Hey everybody, today I have a new GeoGuessr world record to share in the 50 state speedrun category. The previous record was my 1908 from, I believe, April of this year, so I'll just quickly walk through the rules of the speedrun again, just for a refresher. The way it works is you play 10 games of United States No Blurry, and you have to guess the correct state in each round as fast as possible. This is a moving speedrun, and it doesn't matter which states you get, just as long as you guess all 50 correct, you are good to go. As is usually the case for me with these runs, the first half was a lot better than the second half. The first half was the fastest I've ever done it by far, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to play it back right here and just walk through my thought process for each round. Let's go. Round number 1 dropped us into an urban neighborhood. It looked a lot like Washington, D.C., and so in the interest of time, I just went for it right away, and thankfully it was there. The next round here was more of a Rocky Mountains landscape. I went to the southwest for a little bit to start, but again, to save time, I just went with Montana in the end. Thankfully, it was there. The next round here, we had these little black signs on top of the stop sign. That is exclusive to South Carolina. Very useful little tidbit there. Round number 4 was a classic Hawaiian landscape, and then our final round here was a license plate solve. You can see we have front plates on that car, and they looked sort of pale yellow, but I wasn't too sure. It was kind of hard to tell in this sort of overexposed Gen 4, so I just checked a few more. They were definitely pale yellow. One more plate for good measure, and I was confident guessing New Jersey in the end. So that was a really nice fast first round here, 49 seconds just about, so really good start. Getting into the next round here, we'll see what else we get. Another urban neighborhood here. This felt a lot like Maryland, or sort of Northern Virginia as well. Based on the plates and everything, I was seeing a little bit more Maryland than anything else, so I went with it, and it was just Baltimore. Round 7 was a sort of Appalachian-looking landscape here. Moved a little bit to the northeast looking for clues. I was just checking on license plates and things. We did have front plates here, which was interesting. And so they kind of looked more Massachusetts, so pretty far west Massachusetts based on the landscape. Round number 8, we again had those pale yellow New Jersey plates, always useful to know in GeoGuessr. And this one, we had a Colorado State highway shield on the street sign. And round number 10 put us right onto this bridge thing. I kind of flew past one of these really important signs right here, but I went back to it, pointed out Anne Arundel County, which is in Maryland. It also has the sort of flag crest-looking icon there as well. So first 10 rounds done in a minute 44, really good pace, and getting into round 11 here. Another sort of urban neighborhood, looked like Massachusetts license plates, so I went for it. And it was just near Boston there. Next round here, another kind of urban place. Area code there was 717, which I am pretty sure is Pennsylvania. Just checked the license plates to make sure, and they were PA plates. 13th round here dropped us into a Californian-looking neighborhood. Just checked on the landscape, houses, cars, all that. Next round here was more of a rural location, went to the south to start, made it into Gen 4 coverage here for a bit, and then that sign there said Mount Olive. Wasn't sure where that was, so I had to keep on moving, looking for clues. Went past a highway shield there, which was Ohio's. You can see the outline there. Kind of rushed over it there, but I saw it really quickly there. And round number 15 dropped us into Gen 1 coverage. A big issue with recent updates on Google Maps is that it's re-exposed Gen 1 coverage, which is very annoying. Here we had a Utah license plate, and I went for it. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. We did have a couple Gen 1 drops throughout this run, as you're going to see later on, and those kind of screwed up my time, but we'll get to that when it happens. In this round, we're in another sort of Rockies-looking place. Street signs there were in the sort of Utah and Idaho style, and we did have a lot of Utah plates around here, but interestingly, I wasn't seeing all that many, especially on these cars underneath that bridge there, so I was just checking on some more, trying to figure out if it was actually Utah, and then the street sign there said Orem, which is a city near Salt Lake City. And then round number 17 here put us next to the University of Wyoming, so that was nice and easy. Another urban round here for round number 18. License plates looked kind of South Carolina, and it was probably going to be Charleston at that. And it was. Round 19 felt Pacific Northwest, and I flew past an Oregon-specific speed limit sign. It just says speed and then the number. It doesn't say limit. If you see that, you're in Oregon. And the last round here felt like California a lot. Wanted to see if I could get any clues quickly just by moving around for a little bit. Of course, it's always better to be safe than sorry, but I wasn't seeing too much here. And another thing that gives away California here is actually that central black line in between the double yellow. That's a very California thing. I didn't actually pick up on this here, but just this kind of landscape as well is a very reminiscent of California. So in the end, I decided to go for it just in the interest of saving time. And so first 20 rounds done in just over 4 minutes. Really crazy quick pace. Next round here again, another Gen 1 drop. Just had to move around a bit to try and make it out of the Gen 1. Very annoying though to keep on ending up in it. We went all the way to Gen 4 with this one. License plates here were all Idaho, so I was confident going for it. Round number 22 dropped us next to the lakeside bank of Salina. Now, I do remember this round being sort of bait, because Salina is in Kansas, but I'm pretty sure this round is in Oklahoma. License plates confirmed that as well. So kind of a bait location there if you're not careful. Round number 23 here, more of a West Coast look to it again. We had sort of a Utah license plate there, and again, just want to make sure. It's always better to get more license plates than fewer. And that sign there said Hurricane, which is a town near St. George, so that confirmed Utah for me. Here we were on an interstate highway, and we had a ton of trucks on this road. I wasn't sure what was going on, but there were just tons of trucks, almost like a traffic jam. It was really interesting, but once we moved a little bit farther down the road, it started to clear up. It was very interesting, though. Just tons of trucks. I wasn't sure what was going on. It kind of was obstructing my field of vision, too, so I was just trying to move as fast as I could to get other clues. And we were just stuck behind these trucks. Eventually made it to that, which is Tennessee's, I believe, county highway shield. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but it is Tennessee, that upside-down triangle. And here we had the Arkansas State highway shield for round number 25, giving us a time of about 5:38 for the first half of this run. Insane pace. For way faster than I've ever done it before. I was really, really happy so far. But as you can tell by the title of this video, we sort of faltered going into the second half. Partly due to just pressure and also partly due to the kinds of locations we got. So here we are in round 26 on another interstate. I was just moving north as fast as I could looking for clues. Here we had South Carolina's sort of Adopt-A-Highway or Palmetto Prideway. I'm not really sure what all that's about, but it's South Carolina's signage. Next round here looked a lot like California or Nevada, and it turned out to be Vegas there based on license plates and everything. Next round looked very far north, sort of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, that kind of thing. We were in State Highway 23, not enough information, so I had to keep on moving to the east, just looking for anything that I could find. You can see there's sort of the trees and everything here are very northern looking trees, and that's a good way to tell the general region, but it can be kind of tricky sometimes to get clues, especially when you're on these sort of back forest roads. So I was checking license plates, looked like Minnesota on that one, and then I checked another car, and then we also had the Minnesota Adopt-A-Highway there, which was nice to see, so that confirmed it for me. Next round here just was classic Alaska, and then round number 30, we were in Gen 4 coverage, checked on the license plates, looked like some Utah license plates, and again, always want to make sure. For some reason, I always want to make sure for Utah, even if I see two of them next to each other, I always want to see more. And that's happened like, what, 3 times in this run? Very interesting. But anyway, getting into the next round here, round number 31. More Gen 4 coverage here, right by railroad tracks, went sort of south to start. We had no front plates on the car there, and I wasn't sure what that license plate was, so I had to keep moving, looking for more information. But I always try to solve rounds with license plates if possible, but sadly sometimes it just doesn't work out. But here it was really interesting to not have very many front plates. And then I found out why. 717, that is again that same PA area code that came up earlier, so I was able to get it because of that. Next round here, I believe was a license plate solve. I was trying to look at these banners too. I wasn't sure what they really said on them. I was starting to think Texas because it felt kind of southern, but we also had front plates. And then I noticed this building right there, the Alico building. That is in Waco. And I recognize that because I've been to Waco. It's kind of a very distinct landmark in the city, so that was nice to see. This round we were in a sort of southern area, sort of a strip mall area, and then here we had the Indiana State Highway Shield. I believe this was near Santa Claus, Indiana, the whole like resort town with holiday-themed stuff. Pretty interesting place. Round 34, very middle of nowhere, sort of Midwest or South-looking landscape here. Just was going south, looking for any clues that I could find. And it's these kinds of rounds that we got way more of in this half of the run compared to the first half. The first half we were luckier to get more urban drops and just things that could be solved really quickly. But in the second half we had rounds like this, where it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere, isolated from things, and you just have to move for a while to get clues. But eventually here I made it to this intersection which had the Georgia State Highway Shields, as you can see right there in the distance. And round 35 felt more on the west half of the country. We had some blue license plates there, which Montana sometimes has. So I was starting to think Montana, but Montana is one of those states that has a ton of different license plates, so it's always useful to get as many as you can, just for second confirmation. But this kind of round takes a long time for me. I probably should have just gone for Montana right away when I saw the blue plate, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. And so I was just checking more. Wasn't sure what that one was. Montana just has tons of different license plates. It's really annoying. But yeah, just was working my way through this town here, trying to find any other clues, license plates or otherwise. You can see here another blue plate there, and that convinced me in the end to just go for Montana. I was like, yeah, I've seen enough. So that's round number 35, coming up on the 10-minute mark, still making great pace, about 2 minutes ahead currently. Next round here was pretty interesting. I actually missed a clue there that was kind of just the Wyoming flag on that building. But I was checking license plates. I didn't really see many Wyoming plates, but then I saw this banner mentioning Sheridan, which I know is a city there. So I was thinking maybe it's there. But this looks like a really nice town. I wasn't expecting it to be this lively in the actual downtown of Sheridan. But yeah, I was a little bit concerned that it wasn't going to be Wyoming because of that. But I was just checking for more clues and things. I think in the end I just decided to go for it. I wasn't finding much else and just needed to save time. So yeah, in the end I think I just went for it. Not sure if I found anything else though, we'll see. Yeah, in the end I think I just zoomed into Sheridan. I was looking at the streets. It kind of looked lively enough there on the map, so I went for it. Thankfully it was there. Next round again, sort of in this deserty land, but we were right by the New Mexico welcome sign, and we were north of it, so we were going to be in New Mexico, because we went south to get to it. You know, that's how that works. Next round here was kind of interesting. This one took longer than it should have. Very Pacific Northwest landscape, so either Oregon or Washington here. I was trying to check all the license plates of these oncoming cars. I saw one Oregon plate there, but then I was checking more. Some of them looked like more like Washington. Others I was not sure. There was another Oregon there. That one's Washington. So they were kind of all over the place, which is often the case in the Northwest. There's a lot of crossover, especially if you're near the Portland area, because you got Vancouver, Washington there too. So this one was a little bit concerning. Another very noteworthy Pacific Northwest feature is those wide double yellow lines. That's very common in the Pacific Northwest. Another region of the country that does it is the Southeast, sort of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. But that sign there said Oregon on it, so I went for it. Next round here, another very rural desert outpost town here. I went south to start, looking for clues maybe on the outskirts of town. Wasn't seeing much though. There was a rest area coming up in a mile, but that didn't sound so great. The bollards there kind of looked like Nevadas, but I wasn't sure, and this didn't really feel like Nevada to me, but it was possible, especially with the bollards. But I just went back to the start, was looking for any clues maybe within the town itself, but just was not really seeing much. I checked on the license plate there, and that is the old Nevada plate, so I was convinced enough to go there. Thankfully it was. And then round number 40 here, we were in a sort of rural area once again. Just had to move and find any clues that I could. Not actually sure what this one was. We will find out though. And there it is, it's Michigan. So there we go, that is Michigan State Highway Shield, and that is round number 40. So just 10 more to go here, still making good pace. You can see we're starting to lose a little bit of the lead. We're about a minute and a half ahead now. But this round, we once again had those pale yellow New Jersey plates. Once again, just had to check and make sure that they were all New Jersey, and they were. Round 42. Another sort of southern-looking town, felt kind of like North Carolina or Virginia or something. So again, just had to move and find the clues. Was checking license plates and things. This truck here said Richmond and Charlottesville, which are two pretty big cities in Virginia, so I was confident going there. Round 43 here. We had a North Dakota license plate, so I clicked there preemptively, and then again just wanted to make sure of any other clues. Wanted to check one more car for its plates. Had North Dakota, so I sent it. Next round, this was the killer. This is the round that took me from getting a possible, 15-minute time down to the 17 minutes that I ended up getting. So we started in Gen 1, in the middle of nowhere, kind of a mountainous location, so probably going to be the Rockies. And it was just Gen 1 for a very long time. Usually with the Gen 1 glitch, you can make your way out of it pretty quickly, but here we were stuck in it. And the movement was also very slow, as you can see. And then it jumped me back a little bit, so this was just not looking good. So I just had to keep moving, looking for any clues. I was really concerned that we weren't getting out of the Gen 1, but finally we jumped into more Gen 3 here. I saw one license plate there, which was Idaho, but that is just not enough information. The West, again, is another sort of area where license plates and things cross borders all the time, so that was not enough info for me. And then we jumped back into Gen 1 coverage again, which was very annoying. So just jumping in and out of Gen 1 and 3 coverage. These license plates were not Idaho at all. That car didn't even have a front plate, so there's just all kinds of different information colliding here. But this landscape reminded me a little bit more of Montana, more than anything. So I was thinking that if I don't find anything within the next few seconds or minutes, I'm just going to have to guess Montana. So every car I passed, I was trying to check the license plates. Just, you can't really get a good vantage point on this kind of road, and it's hard to tell in Gen 3 as well. That one seemed more Montana-ish as well, so I was starting to feel more confident with going with Montana. But we were just losing a ton of time on this round, as you can see. Still just keeping on moving. I don't remember exactly when I decided to give up and just guess Montana, but I know that when I did guess Montana, it was sort of a Hail Mary. It was just kind of all or nothing. I was like, well, it's either going to be Montana and we'll move on, or I'm screwed and the run's dead. So we're coming up on the 15-minute mark. I set Montana, half expecting the run to be over, but it was actually there, so I pressed forward and moved on to round number 45. Here we had the California State Highway Shield and a bunch of California cities there as well. And so we have 5 more rounds to go at the 15:09 mark. Getting into this one here. Now here we had a bunch of tall-ish buildings, and then we had the Arizona State Highway Shield. I was not expecting that, especially because we started near water there too. But it was Arizona. The signs don't lie. Next round here felt a little bit more northeast. We were, again, jumping into Gen 1 coverage there, very annoyingly. I had one frame of it there, but thankfully stayed in the Gen 4. I was just trying to check on any signs that I could to solve this one fast. Felt a little bit like Pennsylvania or that kind of area to start, but actually turned out to be Kentucky. We had the circular highway shields there and I-75 as well. Again, I just wanted to be safe, checked the license plate. It was Kentucky, so I went for it. Round 48 here. We had a state flag in the distance, so I moved over to it, and it was Wisconsin. Thankfully, Wisconsin has their state name written in bright, bold letters, so you can't really miss that. Round number 49 here, the second to last one. Sort of an Appalachian-looking landscape here. Went to the east looking for clues. I don't remember how exactly I solved this one, but we went into Lower Newport here. And so I was thinking, okay, there's going to be some signs or something within this town. And then we could see that one that we just passed there, which was Ohio. So that's state number 49. And our final round here dropped us into a city, which was great, so we knew we were going to find some sort of clues eventually. The sign there said Columbia College, so I was starting to think Columbia, Missouri, but I wasn't 100% confident. I just wanted to look at some more stuff here. The license plates seemed kind of Missouri-ish. Those are usually hard to tell, and we were in Gen 3 coverage here, so it was a little bit trickier, but they did seem Missouri, and I was just trying to find any solid clues that I could. But eventually, we were coming up on 17 minutes, so I decided to guess and hopefully get the sub 17. And in the end there, it was Columbia, Missouri, ending up with a final time of 16:59. I'm really proud of this run. It could have gone so much better, though, if the second half was a lot like the first half. We could have had something like a 12-minute time, which would have been nutty. But once again, this just goes to show that there is room for improvement on this run. But thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video soon.